Okay. All right. Hi, my name is Jimmy, and I just wanna weigh in concerning the traveling ban by President Trump in June that was partially accepted in Supreme Court in end of June 2017. So, and I just want to weigh in my own opinion concerning this traveling ban with these six countries. Some people claim it's about the Muslim or the Islam. Um, these six countries are it was before it was seven countries, including Iraq, and after some debate and some argument, they removed Iraq, so it become only Iran, Syria, Yemen, and Libya, Sudan, and Somalians. And I just wanna, say my own opinion. When I look at the media, such as CNN or the Democrat, and they label this traveling ban Islamic traveling ban. And when you look at other countries like Saudi Arabia, and people argue why Saudi is not in this traveling ban, I will tell you why Saudi is not in this traveling ban. My own opinion: Saudi is not in this traveling ban because Saudis are not occupied other countries. They are not moving out of Saudi in masses, like other countries like Somalians or the Nigerians or the Moroccans, Algeria, Tunisia, Turkish. The Saudis, they don't travel a lot because they had the money from the oil, but they sponsor the terrorism, they sponsor the Wahhabism, they sponsor all this madrasa all over Europe and America, they sponsor the mosques. They don't travel a lot, and they sponsor the foot soldiers. So the Saudis are not there because most of them are not immigrate in another country. So, and when I look at this issue, in my own understanding, it's like country like Somalia. If you look at what the Somalians are doing today in America, it reminds me the same thing what is going on today in Europe by the Moroccans in Belgium, or the Algerians in France, or the Turkish in Germany. So, and now the Scandinavians are having the same problem because they are accommodating people from Somalia and a lot of Moroccans, Algerians. It's the trouble, and President Trump is seeing this trouble. It's not that he's doing it for today. He's seeing what's gonna happen in the next 30 years. I spent for the last 2012. It's about 5-6 years now. I've been studying history, and when I look at the movement, especially from Islamic countries, and it's unfortunate that the Europeans or the whites or the Americans are not seeing the problem. But I don't understand, because these things has already happened in so many countries. The masses of immigrants, and what kind of immigrant are you accommodate? It's not like the Polish that immigrate in other countries. They integrate, they don't ask for special treatment, they don't ask for special space. It's not like the Italians that immigrate in other countries like in America or in other part of Europe like Belgium, Holland, Germany, Swiss, Denmark. They don't ask for special treatment, they integrate. They are not complaining for special treatment. It's not the same when you look at the Islamic movement or all these countries that the West or the left or the Democrat is defending. I should remind some of you to look back. Just not, I will take you a little bit back, but not too back. Just 40 years ago, 45 years ago, between 40 45. If you remember the country called Uganda, it was ruled by President Idi Amin of Uganda. And when this president, Uganda, Idi Amin, he asked the Indians and some few Arabs, Pakistan or other few Arabs that were occupied his country to leave, the British, trying to find a place for these people, these refugees. Finally, they brought they bring these people, they brought these people to London. And when you look at some of the video or some of the history, you see how much the British welcomed these people. But today, all these immigrants that move to London, their children or their grandchildren are the one that traumatizing England today. They are the one that committing so many atrocity, in England. A lot of hate coming out from them. These are the same people that you accommodate their grandfather. So when I look at what is going on today in America, I just want to remind the Americans that we that live in Europe, we are passing hell. It's not that these people are not welcome. It's not that these people are not given the best space. When you go to the airport, when you go to every administration, you will see the Arabs, you will see the Muslims. But the problem that they never be satisfied. They always ask for more. The only time they are satisfied is when they take over your hard working, when they take over everything you work for, when they rule you, when they tell you what to do. But the problem is that they are not contributing the system, but they're intimidating people. You see what is going on today with the terrorism. These are all part of intimidation. And when you listen to Europeans, they say, oh no, if we have to please them, if we have to do this, if we have to do that, we should do it. But these are submission. When you're submitting to their idea, when you're submitting with what they want, then you're giving more your grant, you're giving the grant, and they never be satisfied until they have it all. Let me take you back in history. Okay? Let me take you back 1,500 years ago. Let's call it about 6th century. Okay? Muhammad died in 632. Okay? In Mecca, after staying 10 years or 12 years in Medina. He was welcomed by the Medinians. It's like moving, it's like another asylum. When he left in 622, with about maybe call it 100, depending where you do your research or where you get your source. Some say 100, some say 200. Okay, let's say when he moved to Medina, he was welcome in Medina. But what happened afterwards? The Medinas were traumatized. And today, Medina is a completely Islamic country. And when he died in 632, what happened? Abu Bakr, Uthman, all these people continue with the same movement. And today, look at a country like Syria. Syria was 100% Christian, Jewish, and the pagan. Iraq was 100% Christian, Jewish, and the pagan. Even though Yemen, even though when you look at Petra, which is Jordan today, it was 100% the Christian, the Jewish, and the pagan. But what happened after Muhammad died? Abu Bakr and his followers begin to conquer these countries. Moving in these countries oblige people to change. And today, all these countries are about 96% Muslim. And they keep on wiping out the Christians. And the Jewish is nowhere to be found. But these are countries that back those days was majority are Jewish. But today Jewish are nowhere to be found, except in that tiny land they still remain in Israel. So let's not forget the subject. The subject is why European or the white country have the obligation, have that moral obligation to accommodate the Arabs and the Muslims. So I ask again, the traveling ban that done just in June 2017, and the media and the left and the Democrat is calling it traveling ban against the Muslim. And I have no problem to ask this: is it obligation that the West have to accommodate the Arabs and the Muslims? The Europeans have accommodated these people, and I'm living in Belgium, it's a terrible place. It's a terrible place. So when I look at what is going on today in Europe, I don't know how long Europe will survive with knowledge, because when their majority becoming Muslim, ideas, you can't even ask questions, begin to shrink and begin to die away. It happened in Spain. So I just ask, why is it in only white country that have that obligation to accommodate the Arabs or the Muslim? Why is it only in the white country? Why is it in Europe? Why is it in America? Why is it in Australia? Why? So that's my topic. When you look at back and you look at the history, how these people, integrate in other countries they already occupied and took over, you see that it's gonna be a problem in future for the next 2, 4, 5, 7 generation, because when these people are taking over countries to country, they are destroying the knowledge of the people. I've already had a lot of debate and argue and debate concerning the golden age of Islam. My own opinion, I don't see that golden age, because when I do my research, and especially they talk about Andalusia, the time they are in Spain, don't forget these people already came to Europe in 7th century. They've been in France, they've been in Vienna in 14th century. They were pushed back by the Polish, that came to work with the Vienna to push them back. And in this case, when they occupied Turkey, today Turkey become an Islamic country. Turkey wasn't an Islamic country. Don't forget that Turkey was the capital of Europe, the capital of the Romans, and today Turkey is like Islamic country. So when you look at Spain, they will say, oh, there was a time Islam contributed in our civilization, Islam contributed in mathematician, Islam contributed in astronomy, all kind of things. And I do a lot of research concerning this issue. I don't see it, because the Spanish people, or all these countries that they move in or they occupy, there was a knowledge people in these countries. There was people with knowledge. They are well educated. They are not illiterate. Okay, these people have so much knowledge. Even if you look when they move to India, the Indians already have knowledge. So the only thing they do, they conquer the people, begin to change them, begin to traumatize them, begin to tell them how to live, and these people begin to change. And before you know it become Islamized. It become Islamic countries, and they will say, oh, Islam does this, Islam did that, Islam. No. If Islam is doing all this, if the Arabs are doing all this, why can't they do it today in other countries they already occupied for the last 1,000 years, for the last 1,500 years? Why can't they do all this magic over there? Why can't they do all this? Why can't they give all these ideas? Why they keep on occupying and occupying? My own opinion is stop giving the ground. Stop. Enough is enough. Okay, Europeans should secure themselves first. Europeans first. Europeans indigenous first. Europeans should secure themselves first. In my next video, I will talk about it. The impact, what happened in Europe, the impact is gonna have in Africa, especially the black people. I will leave this video for this. I will leave this issue for today, and my next video I will talk about other issue. Take care of yourself, and please watch my next video. Bye.